Hello and welcome to the Gaia update for the new moon in Cancer that happens on June 23rd, 2017. I'm Adrienne Elise. Well, this new moon really marks a new beginning as we will have just moved into the summer season in the northern hemisphere as the sun moves into Cancer. But this year, as the sun moves into Cancer, it's right there with Mercury. So the sun is our identity, all facets of ourselves, our light, our potential, and then Mercury is our communication and understanding. So we're really having an opportunity to come to a new emotional intelligence. So this is still in a way working with the energy of the Venus retrograde earlier of this year, where we've had a complete reevaluation of our value systems, what we really care about. And now in this Cancer new moon, there is great energy to begin enacting this on a core basic level. Cancer rules the energy of our home, our family, our feelings of security. And so Venus is what we love and what we care about. So this new moon in Cancer is offering us an opportunity to implement the changes that we really want to see, starting at square one. This is our home, and when we're talking about our home, ultimately we're also talking about our physical body, our shell, our protection in this world. And so this is a great time to put into place new self-care rituals and things, that whatever really serves you on a deep level, whatever makes you feel really good and safe in this world. We have some very supportive energies, and there's a big change of energies as we have Mercury moving into Cancer right along with the sun on this summer solstice on the 21st, 2 days, the 20th or 21st, depending on where you live, a couple of days before this new moon in Cancer. So this new moon in Cancer is at the very beginning of Cancer, and so there's a lot of energy of new beginnings. It's a cardinal sign, meaning they're the starters and the instigators, and in this case we're instigating this new opportunity for a new understanding of emotional intelligence and how to implement these changes into our life regarding the value system overhaul we've been going through in the spring of 2017. So now is the time, and there's beautiful energy to harmonize moving into this new birth. We have the summer solstice, the beginning of the new season, and we also have this energy right at the very beginning, this new moon, which is also new beginnings, right at the very beginning of Cancer in those early degrees. So this is a great opportunity to make changes that really serve your deeper inner needs and bring you security, and there's great support from that for that right now in this astrological makeup and a configuration. So this time is a time for assimilation and healing and integration from everything we've gone through this spring. And then in July and August, the energy starts to ramp up and get intense again as we move into those eclipses in August. So as the Sun and Mercury come together and move into Cancer, we're talking about the Sun, which is all facets of our personality, and then Mercury represents our mind and our daily awareness, how things affect us in our daily life, our communication, our understanding. So we are having, it's a great time for insights and understanding, but insights and understanding around the Cancerian energy, which has to do with emotions. This is a great time because Mercury rules communication in Cancer, this might be finally the time that you can find the right words to say the things you've wanted to say to the people around you, maybe for the last months or years or lifetimes, and be able to say it in a compassionate way. This is a huge energy for bringing a new emotional intelligence and compassion into our individual lives as well as to the planet. So the Mercury and the Sun move together on the solstice just before this new moon into Cancer, ushering in this primordial, emotional, deep, and energy of birth and the womb and bringing forward the new, but in this core essence of who we are. The moon also rules the past. Now the moon in Cancer with the Sun and Mercury right there is really strong because the moon rules Cancer, and so it's exalted. So a very highly emotional time, but with Mercury there, it's about emotional intelligence, being able to communicate and act on our emotions. And so this is again a great time to find those right words, maybe communicate in writing, in expression, in a practical way of these deeper inner feelings that we have been working with throughout the spring of 2017, and take this beautiful Cancer energy and allow it to nurture you and harmonize all of these changes. And so this is really helped along also by the fact that Mars is also in Cancer, and it's further along in Cancer, but we're still feeling just a ton of Cancer energy as this shift happens on the 21st. So a huge change from the Gemini energy, which is very intellectual and busy and full of activity, and moving into the Cancer energy, which is more receptive and quiet. And so a huge opportunity to stop in your life, reevaluate, assimilate, invoke what I'm calling, what's been coming through as guidance in the readings I've been giving lately, about radical self-care. So what does it mean for you to go from criticizing yourself, saying you're not good enough, in that little voice in your head, always questioning yourself, oh, I could have done it better, I should have done it this way, and turn that 180 degrees around to honoring and nurturing the deep core essence of your being and why you're here on the planet, and the gifts, the divine gifts that you've worked for and worked with over lifetimes to bring to planet Earth. You can't bring those forward while you're criticizing yourself. You've got to support and nurture. So this Cancer energy is about going into the womb, rebirthing into our emotional intelligence, and honoring the gifts that we have. The way we do that is this radical self-care and moving into this energy of deep contemplation of what really feeds your soul. And this is time to take a time alone to do what you need and make choices and communication based on your inner needs and your value shifts and changes that have happened from that Venus retrograde. So the reason why we're feeling this harmony and this possibility for change right now in this positive way has a lot to do with the fact that the day after, right around the new moon, Venus comes into a harmonious trine with Pluto. So Pluto is the destroyer, death and rebirth and breaking down of the structures, since it's in Capricorn, of our life. And this energy of Pluto in Capricorn has been so powerful over the last few years and demanding us to make changes. But right now there is some powerful positivity here happening. If you can reach out and grab it, where this value shift we've had, because Venus is at home in Taurus. And Venus loves Taurus. It's exalted in Taurus. And it's about taking care of the body and the true values and the love and what really matters to you. So we're getting down to this core essence of what we really need and what we really want, and how do we take the steps to nurture ourselves into the life we really want, the changes, the self-care, the radical self-care of being able to stop what you're doing and take care of your basic needs. Cancer rules nurturing and also nourishment. So it's a time to really nourish your body with good, fresh food that's beginning to grow from the ground now and be able to harvest in this northern hemisphere. And just stop everything in this Cancer time, and it feels like that too, where we've been having this busy go as soon as all those planets went direct, and now we're we're having an opportunity to slow down and quiet ourselves and take care of ourselves on a deep fundamental level in order to prepare for the intensity of the next couple months ahead. So we'll get into more about that in the future videos. But this Venus squaring up with Pluto is harmonizing and giving great beauty and support for the structural changes we need to make based on our new value system. So this new moon in Cancer is a great time to commit to deeper energetic changes within your being, that self-care, and also supporting the depth of who you really are. What this is all about is about being able to really shine your light. With the North Node in Leo, having moved into Leo in the middle of May, that's going to be for the next year and a half, it's about expressing the truth of who we are. But before we can really do that, we need to learn, stop criticizing ourselves, turn that train around, and start deeply nurturing and honoring, building a temple in our body. Venus wants us to build a temple in our body when it's in Taurus. Trining up with that Pluto and Capricorn, that means breaking down in our life the structures that aren't supporting our temple. The temple for the goddess, the temple for the juicy experience of life. So many people on the planet right now are deeply craving a satisfying life of feeling like, why am I here? What am I doing? It's not about just going to work and coming home. I've had enough of this. But when you feel that way, that's just about before you're going to move into new energy. So a lot of people are feeling really frustrated with their everyday life, but you have to get to that point before you're ready for change. And so Cancer is a lot about change. It's moving into the new season. It's about the tidal waters with the moon. And so if we can surrender to these changes and allow that Venus trine Capricorn to let go of what attachments we had to the way we thought things were supposed to be, because the way you thought things, you wanted things in your life at January of 2017 and now are probably very different after everything we've gone through this spring. And so now is the time to assimilate and take action on nurturing yourself in order to move in to that Leo expression of the truth of who you are. We can't just step out there and have confidence and be out there in the world if we're not willing to value our gifts on a deep level and build a life that can support and nurture those gifts. So that's what this Cancer energy is helping us with. So Mars is there in Cancer as well, and Mars is our male action planet. And so we've got our male planet, our female planet, and the sun and the moon all in female energies. So we're really talking about our emotional well-being and our sensitivity and taking care of ourselves on that level. But Mars is squaring up with Jupiter right near this new moon, and Jupiter is the expansive planet. It grows whatever it comes into contact with, and Mars is about taking action. And so it is time to take action in our life and on the planet on this new emotional intelligence, or old ancient emotional intelligence, that we're finally tapping back into, this new value system of what really matters, and how do we enact that in our life so that we can wake up and be excited about what we're doing, instead of being like, what in the frick is the point to all this? So the point to all this is bringing forward those gifts, your true abundance, the part of inside of you that you've worked on for lifetimes, to bring to the planet. And so now is time to begin to bring that forward, but understanding that we have to honor our emotional intelligence. We have to honor and nurture ourselves before we can feel confident in bringing forward our gifts. So Mars, the action planet, but in emotional Cancer, it's stirring up the waters, and squaring with Jupiter is creating this tension, and the tension is about expanding relationships in a way that fit our emotional intelligence, expanding our relationships, which might mean breaking down, but also building and growing our relationship to ourselves, our relationship to other people, based on this true emotional intelligence. It's pretty powerful to have the Sun and Mercury with this understanding, communication and understanding, and the moon. So we're understanding our emotions, and we're understanding our identity, around what makes us feel safe on the planet. And a lot of us are feeling like we want to see our world and our political system and our leaders and our structures of our world to start reflecting this truth of humanity. We've been being fed messages of hate, hate, hate. And I'll tell you what, that is not the truth and not the reality for the majority of people on the planet right now. We are evolving, but the media doesn't really want you to know that, because then the war against each other would end. But this is what's happening in 2017. It is a transformation of our emotional intelligence and our ability to live our life based on this true reality of humanity, that we are working for harmonious and beautiful, cooperative living on this planet. And that is the truth of the human cells and the way the cells work in the body. They have to, for us to survive. The true energy of being a human is about cooperation. It's about abundance, that there's plenty for everyone and that we can all work together as a team. So this hate and war story is grown very old. And if you go and you move out there in the world and start talking to real people, you'll find that people are getting more and more caring and more empathic and more sensitive. So don't believe the messages that we're being told right now. It is the end of that story of war and hate. And this Cancer new moon is when you can decide that you're going to stop the hate and the war in your own body. You're going to stop hurting yourself and begin taking care of yourself on a deep fundamental level. And that's individual for each of us. What does that mean? So that's something we're going to be looking at in the live activation. I hope you can join me. That's going to be the day before the full moon at 4 p.m. Mountain Standard Time on June 22nd. And so you can sign up, find the information to sign up below. When you sign up for that activation, you can get instant access to the replay. So if you miss the live activation, you can still tune in and get this energy reset, this delving into your emotional intelligence, delving into what you need to be able to gain the confidence and support in your life to be able to begin expressing those most precious gifts and support that in your living temple of your body. So I hope you can join me for that live activation. Get on there and let me know on the chat how you're doing. The chat is live before and after the activation. I'll keep checking in and just let me know how it's going for you. I am here because I'm passionate about helping people have an empowered awakening experience. When you're going through it and you're growing, just before you come to the light, it's rather dark. It's rather hopeless. But I have helped so many people, and including myself, going through this journey and knowing that at the darkest point, that's right before you're going to break through to the light. So I've dedicated my life to develop tools to help support you move through this so you can have that lighter, freer, more satisfying life where you wake up and you love what you're doing. So I hope that you can find the time to yourself, to nurture yourself into this new awareness, into your new emotional intelligence, and start communicating your new value system to the people around you with this powerful Mercury, Sun, Moon activation. So I'll look for you on the live activation, and until next time, thanks for joining me. I'm Adrienne Elise. Namaste.